Okay, we're good to go.
Okay. Hello and good mornings and welcome to Moreness-Culture. Good morning, Syl.
Good morning, Beena. Good morning. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. Very good. Very good. One moment. One moment. There we go. There we go. Yes. Good morning, indeed. Good morning, indeed. I'm very glad you're here, Beena. Very glad you're here.
Yes,
Good deal. Good
yes,
deal.
I'm also. Yes, I'm also. So, today's thought. I was busy and I'm still not at my home, but
Oh,
I was just thinking that I could just okay skip today, but no. Once things becomes your deliberate choice and also they become innate to you, you cannot actually skip those things. I could very easily
right.
because
Right.
now I'm just standing outside because I have many people around me and all that. But this is something I really choose. And I was thinking about the magic of having things and situations and circumstances and people in life which you really, really choose to be with. This is the magic.
Oh,
And then I feel so lucky that I have these things and moreness in my life. Once you get
yes.
once you get the taste of moreness, you can't go back. It is exactly like once you get your taste buds get um, attuned with the fine cuisine, then you cannot go back to trash easily. You
Yeah.
cannot go back to fast food easily because it's about things becoming innate. And refinement is something seems like no, not for me, and all these things. But once you get a taste of it, you can't go back. This is
Yeah.
same applies to the sophistication of awareness. Once you get that taste, you can never go back. And this is what is happening with me. I was busy and things were like, okay, yes, it is happening. Fun things, not any stressful situation, but still, this is my fun time also, and I'm choosing it. And this is
Exactly. Exactly.
really
Yes.
feel grateful for that. That universe really blessed me with
Excuse me.
things. Okay, ya rahmatullah. When really blessed me with people, with situations, with circumstances in my life, which I really enjoy. This is the magic of moreness, sir. This is the magic of
Yes.
being able to
Oh, excuse me.
understand
Dang it.
moreness. Ya rahmatullah. So this is something I was working on. I was listening to someone, a religious scholar. It was just a random reel, just came into my news feed or okay, and I was listening, and they were quoting a verse, and that verse was saying that okay, you will not have anything other than what you really work for or try for. And I was like,
Oh,
wow. So like what it means that all the other circumstances and situation, the unwanted situations in my life or in other people's life, which they at least seem to like that, okay, they are not really working for that. These things happened. Then it really sparks like clarity of intent. We don't understand our own intent many of this time. Like really in life, we don't understand that what we are actually doing. And this is what
right.
causes really a
Right.
problem. Once
Yeah.
you get, okay, and once you start focusing on clarity of intent, get so much out of it. Then things become
Yes.
really easy and simple for you and become
Yes.
fluid for you. And this is what is happening. I was thinking that, okay, oh, this is something, yeah, okay, yeah, this is all fine, good, that, okay, the moreness and the awareness and learning and growing, which is really I was working for, of course. And then some other situation, which I was not working for that. And how this verse makes sense in this situation. So that verse makes sense in that situation as that even if I was not working for those situation, unwanted situation, but I was not working for the situations I wanted. So that's why, as a result or as a consequence, those things are happening in my life, which I'm not working on. So we have to
Mm.
make deliberate choices. This is what the whole meaning and the crux of that verse for me. And I'm like, wow, it blows my mind again. That you can, of course, as you guys might know and aware of, that okay, I'm a practicing Muslim, and way of
Yes.
impeccability doesn't ever,
You're a
ever
practicing devout Muslim. There's a
Yes.
difference, I think.
Yes. So,
Yes.
yes. So it never ever affect me and my religious understanding. Because I'm
Yeah.
also not a believer. I'm not a like blind faith type of person. Like,
Correct.
okay, I'm
Correct.
blindly faith. Like,
Correct.
no, I
You're a
always think
thoughtful
about it.
Muslim,
Exactly. Whatever makes sense
a
to me, I accept
discerning
that.
one
And if
too.
not, I
Yeah.
try to make sense and I try to think about it. But it's not like I'm blindly following anything. No, if it doesn't make any sense, I always give margin to like anyone. Like when Syl started sharing a lot of things as a new person, I was struggling to understand. But I have that trust that if the person is saying that with this earnestness, with this conviction, just give him a margin of having that trust and try to understand from his perspective what he's saying that. If it makes sense,
Mm,
yes. If not, I'm not going to accept this. And same applies to the religion also, for me, at least.
there we go.
I give margin that, okay, those people, for me, all the philosophers, poets, writers, religious scholars, and leaders, and even the prophets, they all were trying to share goodness. The way could be different, not so clear for many people. But for me, I take them as people who were trying to share goodness, who were trying to make you aware of. As we are growing, as the humanity is growing up, and we were growing up, we need that a lot. And that's why nowadays I don't think so that in personal understanding, again, humanity in general doesn't need any prophet anymore. No, we are aware enough.
Ah,
We can make
interesting.
our own choices.
Interesting. Interesting.
We can make our own choices now. We don't need that.
Yeah. 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 Wow. Wow. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Choices, choices, choices. This is most critical.
Absolutely, sir.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
feeling so
Yeah.
grateful that I have
Yes.
this deliberate
Yes.
choice and the benefits of awareness and learning and growing. Of course, it's an
Yes.
ongoing process. I am nothing in comparison to the awareness outside, and of course, the other people have. I'm nothing in front of them in comparison.
Who
But I'm
cares? Who
so
cares?
much
Yeah.
more. No, but I'm so much more than who I was few years ago.
Exactly. 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 We have a special guest, Beena. We have a special guest. Hello, special
Mhm.
guest. Very happy that you're here. Very glad that you're here. Very glad that you're well and good. Yeah. Very glad that you've joined us. Yeah.
Oh,
On
wow.
Facebook. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. On Facebook. I thought that on Zoom and I was not seeing them.
Oh
So
no,
hello.
no. We might get Lisa, Dave's wife Lisa. She might come on.
Oh,
No, I'm saying
oh,
hello to wonderful Norma. I'm saying hello to wonderful
okay.
Norma.
Hello, Norma.
Yeah. Sunshine's rainbow and music. That's Norma. Brilliant.
Oh,
Yes. Hello, 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 wonderful Norma. I'm glad you're here, Norma. I'm very clear. All right, let's go and read because it's quite interesting the next chapter heading.
uh-huh.
So no, not end meeting for all. You want to share, so come on now. Click the right button. Yeah. So let's get
Okay.
right into
So,
it. Let's get right
okay.
into it.
Because
All
I'm
right.
on phone, so you have to read today and I'm going to listen.
Oh, okay. Okay. All righty then. All righty then. To hold down a pillow. Very intriguing
Oh, yes.
section
Oh, yes.
heading. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the little note there. Sometimes it is useful to read these. Note that samurai and Japanese ladies slept with their heads on a small wooden pillow shaped to accommodate their hairstyle. Does not sound very comfortable, but hey, whatever works.
Yes.
All
Yes.
right. To hold down a pillow means not allowing the enemy's head to rise. In contests of strategy, it is bad to be led about by the enemy. You must always be able to lead the enemy about. Obviously, the enemy will also be thinking of doing this, but he cannot forestall you if you do not allow him to come out. In strategy, you must stop the enemy as he attempts to cut. You must push down his thrust and throw off his hold when he tries to grapple. This is the meaning of to hold down a pillow. When you have grasped this principle, whatever the enemy tries to bring about in the fight, you will see in advance and suppress it. The spirit is to check his attack at the syllable. Huh. That's very interesting. At the syllable at. Right? So it's to check his attack at, right? At the moment. That's what he's trying to say here. At. When he jumps, check his jump at the syllable. Ja. Right? So he's trying to make the point that don't wait until it's happened. Watch carefully and see the initiation, and that's when you act, right? To check his cut at cut, right? Now, all right, let me read the end of this and then I'll elaborate on this. How are we going to use this in everyday life? The important thing in strategy is to suppress the enemy's useful actions, but allow his useless actions. However, doing this alone is defensive. Remember your intent. Your intent is to cut, so don't do it alone. First, you must act according to the way. Suppress the enemy's techniques, foiling his plans, and then command him directly. When you can do this, you will be a master of strategy. You must train well and research holding down a pillow. All right. Now, if you want to apply this in actual sword fighting or in any other way, in an abstract way in our daily life. In other words, we are looking to act upon something and we are looking to also respond to actions from something. We have two very, very critical tools that are useful here, right? Both A terms, attention and anticipation. Obviously, they come from awareness, but awareness is the overall, and we are looking to have specialized, focused awareness. So attention, which means a capital A attention, which means attention appropriately applied. If I am, let me back up there before I say if I am. When we look at this from an impeccability point of view, it's best use of energy. If I am engaged in something that is serious, yes, I need to be paying appropriate attention. There's a fire. My house is caught on fire. Yes. I have to pay appropriate attention. I can't be paying attention to my fear, to my panic, to my insecurity, to my doubts. No, I've got to pay attention to the third A, action. Right? So we got awareness, anticipation, action. Sorry, attention. Well, and awareness. We've got four A's, but we'll just stick with attention and anticipation. I'm going to come to anticipation in a moment, and action. So my attention needs to be on what is appropriate. Yes. And in this case, it's also fine. You may be a little bit of a experienced swords person, or you've been in a couple of fights, you're able to manage your fear, and you're focusing on the, or in the case of in a fire, well, you may even be a firefighter, right? There's very good skills. Or you're a security, law enforcement, whatever. Many instances where this applies. It comes to your children. Your children are in danger in some way, right? Then who knows? For whatever reason, yes. All of these apply the same way. You want to be paying attention where it is appropriate to do so. Yeah. So when you're standing there with your sword, don't be paying attention to how good you look. This happens. Seriously, it's astonishing, but yes. Or don't be paying attention, like I said earlier, to your fear or your panic or your doubt or insecurity, right? But also don't be paying attention to, what I need to do, what I need to do. Pay attention to what you can. And if that doesn't work, pay attention to shifting perspective, to finding something that you can do, right? And then do it. Whatever you can do, do. It doesn't matter if you don't necessarily see the way. It's better than not doing anything. So you've got to act. You've got to act. So that attention is to hold on to action, right? And also in the case of like in the sword fighting, don't be paying attention to which stroke, which form, how, if he does this, I'm going to do it. No, just paying attention to what he does and allow the action to rise of its own accord. You're in a fire, your actions are led by appropriateness. Yeah, okay, so the fire's all around me. Oh my goodness, the door's on fire like crazy. I can't go out this way. Well, I have to jump out the window. It's not a very pleasant option, but it was better than burning to death. So you jump out the window. It's as simple as that, right? Act, act. The situation will determine your action. There's no thinking. The situation will determine your action. So when we pay attention to the situation, it determines our actions. Yes. And especially in something where you've had some training, this automatically happens, right? So if you're in negotiations, in strategy, this you can train for. It's very much like sword fighting. It's all the same thing, really. Yes. I mean, it's kind of a battle. I mean, yes, you can be collaborative when it comes to negotiating, but you're still in a situation where I'm giving and you giving, I'm taking and you taking. Yes. Now you can make that into a real battle, or you can do this collaboratively where it's not a battle and you come to a situation where we're both happy and we're all fine, right? But still, the mechanics underlying are the same. So when you are paying attention to whoever you are engaged with or whatever situation you're engaged with, paying real acute attention to the things that need attention, not just the enemy's sword, but his head, where his head is, both literally and physically, because the head or the center of mass leads, tells you where they're going, but also psychologically tells you where his head's at, right? So this to hold down the bow, not letting the head rise, not letting the person get confidence, not letting them get a moment's pause or where they can think about what's going on. When they're under pressure or they're overwhelmed, they can't think. This down, right? Figuratively. I mean, it may even be down when you like a bit depressed or fearful or whatever, right? Same thing. You're getting defensive, your head goes down. Yeah. So when you think of all of this, you're paying attention to everything that is pertinent and relevant, including the environment. As Musashi said earlier, maneuver your opponent into an environment that they're not comfortable with. And this absolutely applies in negotiations. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Same thing. Now, I said anticipation. Anticipation goes along with extrapolation. Very, very powerful. When we learn to anticipate, yes, you now gain that fraction of a second. Sometimes it may only be a second, sometimes it can be multiple seconds. But just practice this. Practice this next time at the dinner table with more than one person and there's a conversation. Anytime, in the break room, in the cafeteria, wherever, people are having a conversation. See if you can anticipate what they say, even if it is just the end of their sentences. We have good skill at doing this. Most people do this. That's why they interrupt you. Yeah. They start talking before the end of the sentence is coming. It's just, well, kind of duh. Yeah. But we can go further than that. We can anticipate, for instance, just watch when somebody's, right, wait, maybe, family gatherings like Thanksgiving, and there's always an argument somewhere, typically, that happens. Watch when you see an interaction between two people. You can even replay from memory if you don't have this, right? You've likely seen this happening where, man, you can start to see somebody to get a bit annoyed, right? And they're giving you the signs, and you can start to anticipate when they're going to blow or when they're going to pop or when they're going to their annoyance, irritation, or anger is going to get the better of them. It's kind of easy to do, right? Now, with anger, it's something that we have paid in the past, paid extra attention to, because typically when it's these when we're children, you need to be aware of this. You need to be able to anticipate it to stay out of trouble, right? Well, not all kids do it, but most. So we have skills at particular anticipations, but we can take those same skills and apply it to everything, right? So you can usually see where a conversation's going. You can see that they're going to come to some agreement. We can see one is going to give up. We can see somebody's going to lose interest, whatever, right? A skill of anticipation. Then you add on to that. Anticipation is you anticipating, you seeing what's coming next. But then you add extrapolation, which is taking the prevailing pattern and you saying this is most likely what's going to happen as a result. You kind of combine those two. This is very, very, very powerful. Of course, it's also very dangerous because you could be wrong. So you need to not stake everything you have on your anticipations or your extrapolations, right? Because then if because it's just the most probable, not not an actuality, right? Just most likely, but may not be. So you need to be prepared also for being mistaken, just as a matter of good strategy. However, though, when you do this and you practice the skill, it's profoundly valuable. And also, it is very useful from a time-saving point of view. A simple example that I use in this case is next time you walk up to a door where you need to use a key, take your key out before the time. Now, you need to anticipate. If you got an anticipation mindset, I'm walking, okay, what's coming next in my life? Oh, the door's over there. Well, I can take my key out now. I don't have to wait till I get to the door and then take it out. This is not only useful for saving some time. Okay, it's not a lot, but time adds up over the day. But also from a security point of view, out in the parking lot, that's the time when you are most vulnerable to being mugged, by the way, or at your door too. When you're fumbling for the keys, your head is down. See? See? But if you're walking, you can take it out while you're walking, and you stay observant, you stay alert, right? And walking and being still, obviously, you're less of a target. So it has a real security implication as well. And if somebody does come, you're ready. Yeah, that's it. Anticipation is really cool. Now, say, okay, well, I don't really get mugged. Mugging's not an issue anymore. Yeah, but what about driving? Car accidents, are they an issue? Oh, absolutely. It's a big deal, right? One of the biggest causes of injury and death in our lives. It's a serious business. Learn to drive with anticipation. See the traffic light up ahead. Yeah. Do you have to zoom up to the traffic light and then slam on your brakes? And I see this all the time. It's quite fascinating to me. It's like, didn't you see the traffic light up there? No, they see it when it's like right there in front of them. It's like, where's your anticipation? Yeah. And anticipate traffic's, when you're coming through any intersection, right? Anticipate, see what's going on. It's just a valuable skill. Anticipate, on highways, especially when it's very dense highways, making a gap for somebody. Is this person going to look to push in? Whatever. See, anticipation. When you do that, you don't get caught in like pileups. Yeah, if you're looking ahead in your driveway, driving, well, of course you keep your distance. But even so, though, you may even have your nice distance between you and the car in the front. But if you're in your own bubble over there, if you're not paying attention, you don't see that suddenly coming, and you may still be too late. Yes. So that's why we come, because people don't drive with anticipation. So anticipation, an incredible skill, an incredible skill. It will sometimes, when you learn to really anticipate, you see things coming that how did you know? It's not that hard. You pay attention to pattern, to rhythm. You pay attention to probability. Yes, very powerful stuff. So all of this is you keeping your head up. Yeah. And when you can anticipate, you see what's coming. And in that moment of anticipation, right? You can't act before they've acted sometimes. But because you're anticipating it, the moment it starts in that first syllable, that as Musashi puts it, you're there already. Yes. You block in that cut before he's even gotten past, or her, before they've even gotten past the start of their action. Now, this can apply in negotiations, in dealing with troublesome people, children that are full of nonsense. If you anticipate that, well, you put the dummy in right away before it even can wail, correct? You see it coming. That mouth opens, pop, in it goes. What the hell, Ma? How do you know? Ma's got superpowers. See? No power. So there's many value to this. I mean, many useful applications of the skill. It's incredibly powerful. But it starts with, obviously, you want an overall awareness, not the bubble awareness, right? Not tunnel vision. You want that, not just situational awareness, but you want contextual awareness, not only in space, but also in time. Yes, it's very sophisticated, but it's very, very powerful. So when you start to develop that 360 awareness in space, and you develop the awareness of time, both past and future, yeah, then you can leverage your past and you can leverage your potential future into the present. Yeah, it's very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. When you put all of this together, you start to learn to think strategically. Because if you've just consumed have your head down, you consumed with your stuff that's going on. I've got this, I'm worried about my boyfriend, my girlfriend, whatever, family, whatever, right? You don't have time to even think strategically. But when you start to anticipate, if I see trouble before trouble sees me, don't I have a fantastic advantage? Trouble hasn't seen me yet. I can get out of the way. I literally used this as a boy. I saw bullies or bigger kids, and I'm unsure what they're up to. I simply just went a different way. I got out of the way. They never saw me. You know? Very useful. Very useful. I mean, very, very basically. But also, what about in conversations? Hmm? You anticipate, you see where it's going. When you see where it's going, you have a few moments of pause, and you can institute a power pause too. It's very helpful. But in that anticipation, you gain a little bit ahead of the time. So you know what's coming, but you can start to think about things a little bit more. And especially like in negotiations or business meetings where time's at a premium, when you gain a few, even microseconds, right? Like Data said, uh, a second is an eternity for the positronic brain. Yeah? So a little bit of time inside your mind is a long time. And then you can start exploring different options. You can start think strategically. Oh, maybe I don't want to go this way. Maybe I don't want to go that way. Maybe I want to position myself in this way, in this way. Okay. And so often, especially in business meetings, things are happening quickly. And man, if I just spoken up at this time or said something, well, I might have been chosen for the team. Well, I didn't say anything, so they didn't pick me, or whatever. See, you can miss a lot of opportunities simply because you were inside your bubble. Be ahead of the game. When you're ahead, you've got time to respond appropriately. You've got time to make those decisions. You're not caught flat-footed. And a lot of times people just end up in situations that they want to be in or don't want to be in out of luck, not because of strategy, not because of choice, not because of deliberate action. Right? So all of this, very, very powerful stuff. I know I made a whole big long speech here, but it's profound stuff. It matters. It makes a difference in our daily, day-to-day life. Yes, like I said, what Musashi is talking about here applies to driving. It applies to any interaction with people. Whether it doesn't mean that we're in a competition or a battle with people. No, you could be having a wonderful discussion. It just helps you save time. Yes, you see where the thinking's going. Do I want to go down this path? No, I want to go down another one. Or okay, I see the person already is grasping what I'm about to say. I don't need to say it again. Yeah, I don't even need to say it. I can just skip that point and go to the next one. So it makes for fantastic efficiency and effectiveness, right? Very, very, very useful stuff. Very, very useful stuff. Comments, Norma? Comments, Beena? Non-muted
Yes,
comments, please.
yes, yes, yes. I'm just listening, sir. Right now, I'm just listening.
Wonderful.
I will share later.
Wonderful.
Yes,
Wonderful. Now, does what I'm saying make sense? Let me ask that.
absolutely, absolutely.
Brilliant.
It
So
does make
hello
sense. Yes.
to Diesel Dramatics, New York City. Diesel Dramatics, New York City. I'm assuming that's what I mean. That's a very interesting name.
Yes.
I'm curious if this has any connection to Vin Diesel because he has a somewhat dramatic style of acting. It may have nothing to do with that, but I'm curious. And then hello to Lubna, who's here. Brilliant, brilliant. Hello, Lubna. Hello, Lubna. And Syl Sabastian said, good morning, everyone. Oh, good. Hello, hello, Syl Sabastian. Very good. So yeah, please leave me a comment of some kind, whether it be a smiley face or a thumbs up or a like. It helps me to see you in my other app. Yeah, I mean, if you look at screen share now, I'm looking at Instagram directly, but typically I'm watching over here. You see, and you see how it shows the comments over here. You see, and then I see what's going on. Now, if I go and comment if I do what I'm suggesting, put a smiley face, well, I'll put a smiley face and a heart. I like hearts. Yeah. And you see, well, it should. I don't know why it's not, but usually it will show up here as well. Maybe it's not showing my own comments, but then I see the comments here, which are very helpful. It's just one place for me to look rather than having to look at all of them individually. Yeah, it is interesting. Then usually it shows the Instagram comments also. All right. Well, anyway, I do like the comments. They are good to see. They are helpful, and they help in the algorithm to share things as well. So it has value in that case too. All right. Let's continue reading. Crossing at the ford. A ford, in other words, a place over a river that's shallow enough that you can cross. It's called fording, right? A ford, right? I mean, it's not the motor vehicle ford, right? Even though he spelled it with a capital F there, which is rather interesting in the title. Crossing at the ford means, for example, crossing the sea at the strait, or crossing over 100 miles of broad sea at the crossing place. Now, usually in more modern English, fording is usually reserved for rivers. Yeah. I haven't really seen it used in the context of the sea, but the same principle in the abstract applies. I believe this crossing at the ford occurs often in a person's lifetime. Sorry, Musashi, I'm going to adjust there. Just my habit, and I don't like this singular, distortion here. Why? Why? Sorry. Yeah, it's inadvertent misogyny, and I won't be a part of it. Right? So I believe this crossing at a ford occurs often in a woman's lifetime. It's just as true as a man's lifetime, you know, in a person's lifetime. It means setting sail, even though your friends stay in harbor, knowing the route, knowing the soundness of your ship and the favor of the day. When all the conditions are met, I assume that means met, and there is perhaps a favorable wind or a tailwind, then set sail. If the wind changes within a few miles of your destination, you must row across the remaining distance without sail. Just by the way, right? Tailwind. Again, understanding things a little deeper adds so much to our understanding. Now, I believe in Musashi's day, it was around about the time when sailing started to transition. But even I think even then already the aerodynamic effect starting to be used. But in today, in modern sailing, to sail with the wind directly behind you is the slowest way to sail, not the fastest, the slowest. Just as a little extra point, not all obvious things are so. You would think, yeah, but surely it's the fastest way to sail with the wind directly behind you. No, it's not. Why? Because you don't use that aerodynamic effect and you don't get any benefit of apparent wind. Now, I don't have to get into the complications of it, but you're just simply being pushed with the wind. You're not using the effect of the curve around the sail, which creates a vacuum, creates force, and that makes you go faster. So in regular sailing, the fastest way is not quite across the wind, but a little bit downwind of across the wind. You get the full effect of the aerodynamic effect, right? So in other words, there's a moreness to sailing that's not obvious. Yeah, back in the old days, it was all about being pushed with the wind, right? And that was it. They're just very limited in their sailing. They sail dead downwind or a little bit to the side, more or less. But that was it. They never got that benefit. Yeah, very, very powerful. So if you go back in time, and you can only go with your knowledge, right? You go through, I don't know, some portal or something, you end up naked in the way back distant future. Yes, just remembering this about sailing and just thinking of, you don't even have to understand it. Just picture modern sailboats and start building that and design that, and you'll have an advantage over everybody. You'll figure it out from there, right? You don't have to understand how it works. You can figure it out. But anyway, I'm going for a little side here because as part of being aware, part of being strategic, is to understand that the obvious is not always obvious or sensible or so. Yes? Yeah. Yeah. Comments. Just thinking of both sides, mine and the other. Yes. And those not present, and thinking of left, right, upside down, sideways, different dimension, everything, right? We got to think in color. Paying attention all the time is important to survival. Correct. It is important to emotional survival. It is important to your mood survival. Why? Because if you're not paying attention, you can get caught up in bubbles of immersion, where you're using your energy inappropriately. And when your energy is down, low energy, miserable, goes hand in hand. High energy, happy, to go together. Yeah, just the way it works. Yeah, it's very interesting why that is so. There's no real good reason for it, but so be it. Maybe it just takes less energy to be miserable than it does to be happy. I don't know. But yeah, it's absolutely crucial. Like I said, to our emotional, psychological, and mood survival, our psyche survival, paying attention is crucial. And that's why we want to get to deliberate living, the ultimate. Yes. Now I am not just paying attention, but I'm paying attention because I want to, because I like to, because it gives me pleasure, joy. There's power in being deliberate. Yes, when I'm doing this because this matters to me, my attention is going where I wish it to go, and it's appropriate to do so. I'm in tune. I'm in harmony. Fantastic way to live. Fantastic way to live. Yes, really excellent. All right, let's keep going here. If you attain the spirit, oh, I think I had to read the last sentence there. If the wind changes within a few miles of your destination, you must row across the remaining distance without sail. Do what's appropriate, in other words. If you attain the spirit, it applies to everyday life. You must always think of crossing at the ford. In strategy also, it is important to cross at the ford. Discern your enemy's capability and, knowing your own strong points, cross the ford at the advantageous place. And as a good captain crosses a sea route. If you succeed in crossing at the best place, you may take your ease. To cross at a ford means to attack your enemy's weak point and to put yourself in an advantageous position. This is how to win in large-scale strategy. The spirit of crossing at a ford is necessary in both large and small-scale strategy. You must research this well. Yes, yes. So again, all of strategy is about maximizing your positives, minimizing your negatives, and the reverse for your for the other situation, right? Now, in oppositional strategy, you want to maximize the negatives of your opponent and minimize their strengths. But we don't always want to be in Moreness-Culture. Forget about opposite. There's no opposing in a Moreness culture. There's no battles. There's no Moreness. No, it's about collaboration. So likewise now, when I'm collaborating, I want to minimize my negatives and maximize my positives. I want to do so for everybody else I'm collaborating with. Yes, minimize their negatives or their less strong points and maximize their strong points. So, okay, let's say we're in a group project. We're building a house. Well, I'm good with a hammer. Okay, I'll take the hammer. You good with the screwdriver? Good. You take the screwdriver. You're maximizing everybody's strong points. And it's very simple. It's very obvious, right? But, if, well, I like the screwdriver. Yeah, but I'm not very good at it. See, you got to go where your strengths are. Or you might say in Moreness-Culture, well, I need to learn the screwdriver. Okay, can I have the screwdriver? I want to learn how to use this. I know I'm not very proficient, but I won't get proficient if I never use it. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, it makes maybe overall project, but it's so minimal, it doesn't matter. However, having people with more advanced skills helps us in the long term. See, you have to have that time awareness also. Okay, great. So now we actually invert it in Moreness-Culture and we start doing what we're not so proficient at. And of course, by the time you've done this a bunch of times, when we get to house 20, that we're all building collaboratively, everybody's proficient at anything. And we do whatever comes first. And just you're able to do as appropriate and you just do. Wow, now that house just goes bing, bang, boom, and it's up. No problem. Easy, right? You don't even need to think about that. You don't need to sort it. It's just whoever's there, who's ever in the moment, you do. What a fantastic way of being. Yeah, that's really awesome. Okay, I was just saying this was something practical like building a house, but this also applies to interactions, to whatever you're doing. Doesn't matter, even if it's just having fun and playing. Yeah, just an awesome way to be. Thank you, Norma. Thank you, Norma. To know the times. To know the times means to know the enemy's disposition in battle. Is it flourishing or waning? Paying attention. Don't just pay attention to physical, pay attention to spiritual, psychological, emotional. Yes, everything, mindset, attitude. Yes, and in this case, their morale. Yeah, enemy's disposition really would be, how eager are they, how enthusiastic, how confident, all of that, which really goes to morale as disposition, morale, right? Is it flourishing or waning? By observing the spirit of your enemy's men and getting the best position, you can work out the enemy's disposition and move your men accordingly. You can win through this principle of strategy, fighting from a position of advantage. When in a duel, all right, let's just take this in a very literal sense, how you can use this. If you start to see, well, this side, the right side of the enemy is the group over there, they're grumbling and complaining and moaning and getting a bit dispirited and they're lacking enthusiasm. It may not be militarily the best place to attack. Yes. You may say, well, they're kind of strong over there, and I don't have my best fighters over there. And all things being equal, this would be a bad idea. But all things aren't equal. Yeah. And now, when you do attack that and you succeed there, yes, where you shouldn't have succeeded, but you do. Now, suddenly, the army looks and it sees, oh my goodness, the right flank has crumbled. Well, now you get that disease spreading all throughout the army. And there's your victory. Yeah. Just one little small point, crossing the ford. You crossed it right there. See? Advantage. Now, of course, we don't want to be in battles, but when we understand leverage, that's about leveraging a situation, right? This is the abstract term. This is in dictionary of power. Leverage, capital L, leverage. It's all the time being used in way of impeccability. When we understand leverage, yes, you can take the same principle. We don't have to use in battles. We're not in battles, but we are in battles with our ignorance. We are battles with our indolence. We are in battles with our unawareness. We are with our ego, with our stubbornness, our pride, whatever. All sorts of nonsense we're in battles with. So likewise, we can start to apply these strategies. But also, you can apply strategy to non-battle environments. Yeah, when it comes to play, when you can apply strategy to how you set your day. How many people plan their day strategically? When it comes to what is my objective of my strategy? Maximize my energy usage, best use of energy. Yes, I want to get the things that I need to do. I want to get them done. I don't I want to get them done efficiently and effectively, and timeously. I also want to get them done with joy. Holy moly, I never thought of applying this to my strategy. I just thought I have to do things. I need to do things. These are my chores. So I'm trying to get through them as quickly as possible to minimize my stress of doing them. Why? Why can't you make them joyful? Start applying a strategy towards that, and your whole life will change. You'll be amazed. Right, Beena? We do our chore duties. We have a great fun doing them. Taking
Yes.
inventory, tagging things, doing mindless
Absolute
jobs.
fun.
We have great joy doing
Absolute
so.
fun.
Yeah. It's
Exactly.
fantastic. It's fantastic. Right? Strategy can apply to absolutely everything. Are you applying strategy to how you eat, how you make your food, for instance? Good chefs, watch them, right? When they're making food for a large group of people, especially. You can go watch, Auntie so and so, Mrs. Van Zagi, right? My friend's mother was a really good chef, cook, not chef, cook. Anyway, you watch them. They plan it out. They put it here. They have it ready, and you prepare the stuff because you can't do it in the moment. You have to do it ahead of time. So you do your prep work. I mean, when you study cooking, yes, they don't call it strategy, but well, I guess maybe they would in some places if they understand what they're doing. But there is a it's already been determined long ago. It's not something that's new that you have to invent. You can go and search this, right? You're preparing for a big meal or any restaurant, and there's a step-by-step thing, and you go, you do your prep work, and then this, and why? Because it's strategic to do so. Because it saves you time and energy, and then your goal, which you're trying to achieve, is to have your food all arrive at the same time. It's actually quite difficult to do, by the way, and you really have to know you understand all the elements so that you can get your timing right. Yes. I mean, this was the biggest challenge when I had the restaurant, when we had big parties of 12, 14, 18, 24 people, whatever, right? We didn't have I think, I don't remember how much the biggest was, but sometimes the main sort of section of the restaurant, push the tables together and you put them all together. Let's see, uh, would be 4, 8, 12. Yeah, I'm thinking we had like 16 or 18, something like that was the most that we did. But I remember those big parties. They were hard. They were difficult. They took a lot of work. But of course, they're also profitable. So you do them. But again, strategy, right? See, my point is that strategy applies to everything. Strategic driving, like I said before, is very powerful stuff. Yes, everything strategy can apply to everything. And when you start to think strategic, it just changes your brain because you're automatically looking at your goal. You know, what if you want to have clarity of intent, you need to know what are you intending to accomplish. In order to be appropriate, you need to have a goal. Yes. And in order to be appropriate, you also need to know what the context is. Right there, those two elements, combining context and goal, you end up with strategy. What is the best way for me to be appropriate? Best way means strategy. Yes. So, or at least it's very related to strategy. Very powerful, very powerful. You can win through this principle of strategy, fighting from a position of advantage. Oh, yeah, this by paying attention to this position. That's what we're talking about. When in a duel, you must forestall the enemy and attack when you have first recognized his school of strategy, perceived his quality and his strong and weak points. Attack in an unsuspected manner, knowing his meter and modulation and the appropriate timing. It's what I was saying earlier. Meter and modulation, pattern and rhythm, right? Just take more technical terms for that. Right? Very, very, very powerful. One moment. Okay. I think I got it. Yeah. Let's hope so. Uh, when in a duel, you must forestall the enemy in attack when you have first recognized his school of strategy, perceived his quality and his strong and weak points. Attack in an unsuspected manner, knowing his meter and modulation and the appropriate timing. Knowing the times means if your ability is high, seeing right into things. If you are thoroughly conversant with strategy, you will recognize the enemy's intentions or intent and thus have many opportunities to win. You must sufficiently study this. Now, before I get to recognize intent, not intentions, but intent. I don't care what your intentions are. They mean absolutely nothing to me. Yes, to see your intentions, because most of the time people don't act on their intentions. That's what the intentions mean. It's what goes on before you act. If you're going to act on it, the intention transforms into an intent. It's what distinguishes the two. That's why I don't care what your intentions are. It's your intent. Your intent is going to determine what you're not only going to act on, but are committed to act on. Yeah. So this is what I want to know. Now, when we are in interpersonal interactions, being or having developed the skill of paying attention to intent is incredibly valuable. We have this power. It's in our DNA. It's how we survive. Yes. Uh, Watch those nature documentaries. You've all seen them, right? You've seen it at the waterhole in Africa somewhere, right? And you see the lions are there and the zebra and the gazelles and everybody, and they go and drink the water. And the lions are right there, like, I don't know, 20 meters away or something, very close. Why are they able to go and drink? Because they can see the intent of the lions are not in hunting mode. Yes. They're chilling, they're relaxed, they've eaten, they're well fed. So they know it's relatively safe. Now, there's a limit to how close they will go, no matter how thirsty they are. It's called the commitment line, or at least I call it the commitment line, right? Uh, just from a little extra point of strategy. Yes, the zebra and the deer, and they will go and drink. But if the lions come closer, at some point, the commitment line is that line which, that space, the distance from the lion, which once you cross it, there's no getting away, or from any predator, right? Once you get inside that circle, that radius, there's no getting away. You committed. Now, if the lion chooses to attack you, well, that's it. It's too late. Yeah, you've got no chance of getting away. You committed. You commit to trusting the lion. But outside the commitment line, should the lion decide, well, and sometimes you'll see young males. They're not hungry, but they'll get up and they'll just chase the thing just because, well, they're young males. Knuckleheadedness, it's not just limited to humans and human young males. Almost all species, young males, just knuckleheads, right? They'll do it, and you can see them all puffed up, like, look how tough I am. I scared the whole herd away. Yeah, really. Now, come on. How lame are you, actually? But my point is that they can get away, right? But they trust, though. They do go and drink. Whereas if the lions are hungry in hunting mode, they would never come that close. Yes, even though it's far outside the commitment zone. Why can they do this? Because they can perceive intent. Likewise, we see, oh, the snake is all hissing and puffing. Is it really trying to attack me? No, it's protecting its path. It's protecting its young. It's not looking to actually attack me or eat me. It's just being in defensive mode. Its intent is to scare me away and not to attack me. It's a big difference, right? Very big difference between an intent to scare and an intent to attack. If I come closer, it will attack, but I'm actually initiating because from their point of view, I'm attacking them. Yeah. So intent is very valuable. Likewise, pay attention to the intent of people. When does this make an actual real difference? First dates, or any date really, but particularly in first dates. Yes. Oh, so and so, they've only got one thing on their
Yeah.
mind. Okay, so do I. All right, okay. Well, let's hook up and let's make merry and have fun. Okay, cool. All right. Well, wow. I'm going on this date, and dang, man, this guy over here, he just wants to get married. Dude, we're on the first date. We can't be talking about wedding dates on the first date. You know what I mean? It's like we're not even in a relationship, and you're talking about wedding dates. Well, obviously they have a deep, desperate intent to get married. And I'm making an example that sounds funny, but ask your friends, listen around. Sooner or later, somebody's had an experience with this, right? It's incredible how inappropriate people can get when they are desperate, right? Yeah. It's like, man, your mom is really pressing you to get married here. Yeah, all right. Well, that tells me a lot about you or your dad or whoever, right? So it's powerful stuff, powerful, powerful, powerful stuff. To pay attention to intent is incredible. It's an incredibly valuable skill. And simply just in our daily interactions, somebody starts to get annoyed and bothered. What is their intent? Is their intent to be negative towards you? No, man, well, I touched the button. That's nothing to do with me. This is some legacy issue, some residual thing, unresolved problem. It's nothing to do with me. See, pay attention to the intent. You're going to learn so much. You're going to be a wizard and you're going to see things and know things. People, how did you know that? Oh, paying attention to intent. Yeah. Incredible skill. Incredible skill. Of course, in sword fighting, in any kind of battle, it's absolutely critical. Intent, not intention. Understand the difference between the two. I don't care about your intentions. They mean nothing to me. Why? Because they don't result in any action. A lot of people have wonderful intentions and nothing comes of it. So, to intentions, yes, they're meaningless. Intent, on the other hand, it's a different thing. Very few people really bring intent to bear in their lives. They lose out on not utilizing this, yes, because intent is a commitment. Takes you got to put, you're putting yourself on the line, as it were. I intend to do this. I'm committed to do this. If I don't do this, then I'm just a liar and a BSer. And there's negative consequence. So people don't want to take that chance. They don't want to commit. People don't like responsibility. Yes, you have entire psychologies, which are all geared towards avoidance of responsibility. And an intent is a responsibility. Very, very powerful. All right. On that point, any comments before we go, Beena? We'll end it right here.
So yes, this is again, it's an insight about the culture and the inner culture there, especially because when people talk about the warriors and their strategy,
Yeah.
it's a kind of a
Yeah.
hidden culture. You cannot just guess it from outside unless or until someone is going to actually share the
Correct.
details about it, because it reveals the mindset, the psychology of
Yeah.
that time and those people, which was of course the dominating factor, and still is. Warriors, establishment, and other forces, they are the dominant culture, even though they are not on surface, they're not visible, they are not obvious, but they do
Oh,
rule, and they do set the tone and the mindset of the whole culture. So understanding of the warrior culture at that time in Japan is actually revealing that how
yes.
influential they were and how they were controlling that, which is
Yeah.
also revealing
Yeah.
about the BMNs, that okay, the BMN
Yeah.
culture,
Yeah.
we are facing it, especially in the corporate sector. It is really glorified by corporate sector people that
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
oh,
Oh,
if you
yeah.
are a BMN, if
Oh,
you
yeah.
can
Oh, yeah.
manipulate,
Oh, yeah.
you're successful.
Oh,
And
yeah.
this is how they are promoting it. That's why this book of Five Ring is so influential and so incredibly accepted in Japanese
Yes.
corporate culture,
Yes.
because it
Yes.
is still a
It's a big
BMN
deal.
culture.
It's a
It
big
is a
deal.
big
Um,
thing, and I'm really curious about that. Once once they will start getting into the other side of it, the mourners culture, what it would
yeah.
be for those people who are trained, who are like really from the very first awareness till their last breath, they assume that it's a noble thing to be a
Yes.
BMN, in other words. So this is really
Correct.
interesting.
Correct.
Thank you
Correct.
so,
Correct.
yes. Thank you so much, Phil, for sharing.
Beena, Beena,
Yes,
before you close with the thank yous,
yes,
tomorrow remind me to follow on what you said. We will talk specifically about being honorable, the intent to be honorable, honorable
okay,
intent. Yes, now
okay,
all of that, and because this is so crucial when you look to understand, because that is so powerful, and we're going to see the complications that arise from it. Okay.
yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
All
so
right.
thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sil. Thank you so much, whoever joined us live. I was not able to see that today. I
Yeah.
had limited
It's
access,
okay.
but thank you so much for being here. And if
Yeah.
you guys are going to watch us recorded on YouTube or on Substack, or of course also on the Facebook group, please do click like, subscribe, comment, and share this thing, because by doing
Yes.
so, you're going to train your algorithm, or online algorithm, to give you more
Yes.
of the substance like that, the content like
Yes.
this, because it is so important and
Yes.
crucial nowadays to train your algorithm to give you the moreness, and of course what you really like to see and have in your life, and also going to pass on to the future generation, because this is the time right now. We are at the point of the
Yes.
history, time in the history where we are setting the tone, and the algorithm is really super keen now.
Yeah.
They are collecting data, and by adding any click, just one click is adding into the data and the algorithm. So please do click like and
Yeah.
subscribe
Yeah.
and share and comment also
There you
in
go.
the
There
content
you go.
what you really like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, because we do scroll a lot of things on Substack, on of course on Instagram, on YouTube, and they are not relevant. So please do pay attention to what
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
relevant to you, what is pertinent, and
Yeah.
what where you get value from. So please,
Yes. Very important.
not for our own things, but that okay, but even channels like us and people like us who are sharing moreness. So please do that,
Correct.
because
Correct.
ultimately your online algorithm is going to affect and train
Yeah.
the algorithm of your life. This is how the
Yep.
universe is working,
Yep.
so far,
Yep.
my
Yep.
understanding.
Yep.
Thank you
Yep.
so much
Yep.
for being
Yep.
here. See you guys tomorrow with moreness.
And
Bye
a
for
quick
now.
hello and goodbye to Marco Perillo Wines, who just joined us.
Hello,
Marco,
Marco.
you joined us
Thank
right
you
at
so
the
much for
end
being
here,
here.
but we'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow. We do
Yes,
this every
and
day,
same time, same time.
except
Yes.
Saturday. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All
Okay.
right. Well,
Thank you, Marco, for being here. Bye
thank
for
you,
now.
Beena. Thank you, everybody. Bye bye. Thank you, Norma. Bye bye, Norma. All right.